Luke Treeweiler here from Treeweiler Farms. I'm going to show you how to take your sweet corn and freeze it so you can put it up for the year and it'll last you all year long. It's a great way to do sweet corn. You just take it out of the freezer, you put it into a little pan, throw some butter in there, you can throw some sugar in there, you let it cook for a couple minutes, and it's just the greatest corn you can have. So I'm going to show you how to go about doing it, and we'll go from there. So here's everything you need. You're going to need some corn. You're going to need a way to boil water. I like to do mine outside. I do it in the garage because I do a lot at a time. So I use a turkey cooker, and you can see we've got just some water. So you get that boiling. You need a little workstation. I got a cold water bath. I've got a mandolin. That's what I'm going to cut the corn off of the ears from. You can also use a knife or anything else. And then I've got a bowl for putting the corn into after I've cut it. You're also going to need some Ziploc bags and a freezer. And I'll show you that part when we get there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the water boiling and go from there. All right, as you shuck your corn, there's not a whole lot you gotta really worry about. You don't have to even get all the silks off of it because the silks will boil off in the water. And when you're cutting the kernels off the corn, it doesn't become that big of a deal. Even some of this stuff that hangs on the bottom, you don't even got to worry about that too much. I usually have a clean pail that I sterilize with boiling water that I'll put my corn into. And I will just go through, and I'm going to probably do, I've got about 4 bins of these today I'm going to do. I put up about 4 bins yesterday. And you end up getting about anywhere from 8 to a dozen ears of corn in a Ziploc bag, and that's in a quart bag. So it's pretty, you get a lot of corn and not a lot of space. So you're gonna do a lot of corn when you do this, and you're gonna feel like you didn't get a lot because you're only gonna have like 10 bags. But those 10 bags is a meal for 4 to 6 people, as one bag is a 4 to 6 person serving. The corn that I put up is typically the corn that doesn't sell in my stands, or typically is a little bit smaller. Small ears of corn are just as good. Sometimes you'll get something like this that no good, but for the most part, even though people don't like small ears of corn for some reason, they like the big fat ones, these small ones are just as good and just as juicy. So I sell all my good stuff, and then what I call my corn seconds, that's what I freeze every year. That way, no corn goes to waste, and it all works out very well. So I end up with quite a bit of smaller stuff because I don't irrigate my corn all the time, so I get some uneven ears in my field. So I figure that is the best way for me to put up corn. If for some reason you want to put up corn and you don't need the best corn and you want some corn seconds, get a hold of me on Facebook or call our number, and we've got corn seconds available. These green tubs here are almost 2 bushels, and it typically, with the corn seconds, you'll have anywhere from 4 to 5 dozen in one of these bins. And if you want to put some up, this is the best way to do it with this corn, and we can probably get you one of those bins pretty reasonable. So I'm going to keep shucking this corn, and then we'll move it over to our boil. All right, our water's boiling. We're going to go ahead and throw our corn in there. You can see you got a nice bucket of corn here. That's probably about a third of what we're going to do. So I'm going to drop this corn in. Usually if you're using a turkey cooker, you can get 12, 13, 14 dozen ear of corn in there. And then once you get your corn in, I'm going to get some tongs. I'm just going to push those down a little bit. You can put a cover on it. It takes about 2 minutes before it gets rapidly boiling again. And once we get it to that 2-minute rapid boil, we're going to cook for 3 minutes. Typically, you don't want to be in there any more than 3 minutes. All right, it's been about 90 seconds. We've got it up to a rapid boil. We're going to go ahead and start our timer. 3 minutes. Here we go. All right, it's been 3 minutes. I also forgot to tell you, you're going to need a pair of gloves and some tongs. leave the propane running, keep my water boiling so I can just go from batch to batch. But I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pull these out of the boiling water. If you turn your propane off, obviously it's kind of a pain to restart every time, but it does make it easier to fish out your ears of corn. And now they're going to go right into the water bath. I'm going to come over here and get the few that are remaining. They're going to go into the cold water bath, and they'll stay in that cold water bath just until they're cool enough so that you can handle them. And I'll show you what that next part's going to be. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to load back up some more while I'm waiting for those to cool, and we'll be right back. All right, now we're back. We got our corn cooling in our water. We've got our mandolin set up here. If you don't know what a mandolin is just a way of cutting things down. You can use a knife, many different ways, but basically now we're just going to go ahead and just start cleaning these ears off. Make sure you've got a bucket that you can throw the cobs into. I forgot my bucket. Grab my bucket here, throw our used cobs into it, and you're just gonna keep cutting the ears off of the corn. You can see it doesn't take you very long. We've already got 4 or 5 ears done. Usually I can cut these up a dozen or so. Usually by the time they cool, I can get 2 dozen in here, start working with the dozen that is already cooled while I've got another one cooking, and you just kind of keep this process going. Another important thing to do is have a sink nearby so you can wash your hands, keep your stuff nice and clean as much as possible. So I'm going to keep scraping these, keep getting this corn off there, and we'll come back in just a minute. We've got a pile of corn, and we're going to take it into Marcy and have her bag it up.
Hi everyone, you get to join me to learn how to bag and freeze sweet corn that has been boiled and cooked. So Luke took it off the cob and brings it into me after it's boiled, and I put it in baggies. Always label your baggies so that you know what year you put your corn in. Depending on your family size or the size of the people that you're cooking for, you can fill your bags as far as you want. There's 2 of us and we tend to eat a lot of corn, so I usually put in about 4 or 5 cupfuls. Once you get your corn in the bag, set it on your counter. Make sure you get all of the air out of it, and then seal it tight. And there you have fresh, sweet corn any time of the year.
Well, that's it from True Weller Farms. Hopefully that'll help you understand a way to preserve your corn, and hopefully that corn is the best you've ever had. Remember, don't eat it when it's in season like that, because you can eat it fresh off the cob. But save that corn for later on in the year. Usually once a week or once every 2 weeks is great. So if you can put up about 24 bags, it's really, really great corn. Thanks again from True Weller Farm. Hopefully you have a great day. Little bonus feature for you. If you like corn on the cob and you want to still freeze it and keep it up, I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to freeze your corn. First off, when you got your corn here, this corn, all it's been done is peeled. No cooking yet at all. So I just got 3 ears here. And what I typically will do is cut off the ends. Might want a sharper knife than what I have here. Just set these off to the side. Gonna pop them in half. Then we got our trusty vacuum sealer. And you can get 3 good ears usually in here, depending on how big they are, obviously. These are some bigger ears, so they're gonna not fit quite as well. But you're just gonna wanna make sure that they're arranged in some type of an order so that they can be sealed down nicely. And it looks like we're gonna just be able to get 6 in there. And we'll seal her down. And we will, oops, hit the wrong button. Let's try that again. There we go. Then it'll seal, and once it's sealed, you're good to go. This corn will keep for at least a year in the freezer. Works really good for roast. That's what I like it the best with. Nice venison neck roast. You throw that in there with some carrots and potatoes, and you are good to go. Let's release this up, peel it off, and there you go. Sealed tight, up to 1 year in the freezer. Have a good day from Treeweller Farm. One more additional feature, if you're still watching this video, and you are the first one to watch it and go on Facebook and put in the comment section, I love Treeweller sweet corn during the winter, we have a special prize for you. Thank you for supporting your local farmers, including Treeweller Farm, and enjoy your corn.